All righty, welcome traders. Let's get into the daily trade recap for August 15th. And interesting day today in the markets. We opened up here, and I kind of have a day trade chart on here, but if you take a look in here, here's the 15-minute. And we jumped down at the open, headed down hard, all the way till 10 o'clock, and then tried to hang in there a bit. On the 3-minute, we got a little ahead of ourselves and then just slowly sold off, and then bam, as soon as we hit right around 3:30 or so, the last half hour was crazy. We dropped 15 points and then rallied 10 of them back, 11 of them back. So dropped hard, rallied back at the end of the day, but we definitely finished lower. This gray piece, though, is the gap on SPX that we had to fill, dating back a ways. We'll take a look at that in just a minute. So we obviously filled that gap, which is something I felt we had to do in order to be able to move higher and feel good about that. If we look over here at Apple, pretty much the same exact thing. Sold off, rallied a tad, slow bleed, sell off, gained at the end of the day, and is up a little in after hours. Amazon, same thing, sold off, sideways, drop, little rally. Tesla sold off, rallied a tad, sold off hard, and is selling off pretty solid in after hours trading. And then Microsoft up, down, back up, a little down, back up, way down, little rally. So crazy day on Microsoft as well. So negative day, though, overall on the S&P here on the day. So SPX dropping 51.86, 1.16% on the day. Let's get into some charts and take a look at what's moving the markets. So if we take a look at SPY here, again, this little gap that we had identified back here was finally filled today as we closed down near the 50 EMA and managed to bounce just a fraction off of that. MACD had tried to move itself up for the last couple of days, fell off again today as RSI fell. Nothing to be surprised at here. The weekly still does not look too hot. MACD showing me that the momentum just came out of this up move. And the RSI is now heading back lower. It's not at a point where it's a total, hey, look out, we're selling, crazy stuff's about to happen. But I think you got to keep an eye on where we are. Pretty big inflection point in my mind. Now that this gap is filled, we can take that off the chart. We're watching this 44.4 level, so this 444 level. We did break it. Doesn't mean we can't come back up tomorrow, but if we don't get above this, then I think we're going to watch this level flip from support to potentially resistance. But we are wedged right in between the 21 and 50 EMAs on the daily, with Bollinger Bands starting to open up. PSR is still down, RSI is down, MACD is down. Right now, the daily does not look fantastic, and the weekly does not look fantastic either. This is week number 3 of down weeks in a row. Let's see where we go to. Next stop may be somewhere around this 432 level on SPY. If we take a look at the Qs on the day, pretty similar action on the day. The weekly, moving down, trying to bounce this week. We are still, still off of the lows for the week, but we're also well off the highs for the week. We had an inside day compared to yesterday's pretty big up move tech candle today. So we're just right in this range. Nothing has changed from yesterday to today on the Qs. We did not break the 50 EMA. We are seeing MACD starting to reverse. So techs and the Qs look better than SPY right now. And if we take a look at IWM, we just continue to remain in this channel on the weekly. There's really nothing going on here. Another week of selling, 3 in a row. We're in the middle of that right now. IWM on the daily has had a pretty horrific 3-week span, and breaking now the 50 EMA. So IWM looking the worst of all of the all the major indexes right now. So S&P, SPY not looking great, breaking some key areas. Q's looking still okay, hasn't broken anything significant yet. IWM just selling off, just heading lower. Why is that? We'll take a look in just a moment. VIX came to life a little bit more today. Had a good day up on the VIX, a little volatility pop on the day. See if VIX and volatility starts to awaken. The dollar up fractionally on the day, but up yet again. It is now crossed into overbought territory on the RSI. MACD just struggling to get higher than this, but RSI is pumping higher as dollar continues to strengthen on things here. And as the dollar strengthens, TLT is falling. And we're still not down to this previous low area here that I'm waiting on at 91. It is just a slow grind down into oversold territory on TLT. Getting close, not yet on a potential bounce. Looking at the Forex here, 6A, which is the Aussie dollar, coming back down, slamming right on yesterday's low, which is also this previous low back from 531. Kind of an ominous looking candle. We tried to rally it up, couldn't, closed at the low of the session. So we'll see what happens when things open up in the overnight session. Now, MACD showing that the momentum of this move slowly coming out, and RSI is oversold. Doesn't mean this move is over yet, but if we break this next level, still could be some more pain ahead. Now, the British pound, on the other hand, did manage to move slightly higher on the day. It again was also higher and sold off, but again, much more positive looking MACD and RSI. So despite the dollar here getting stronger, but maybe running out of steam, the British pound might be running out of steam on the downside, and we might be looking at some possible upside. I like it here for potentially a strangle. I'd like to see just a little more firming up, but I think a strangle is in the works potentially. And then 6E, same type of thing as so the euro, same type of thing as the Aussie dollar, not looking so hot as we head down, but nowhere near as bad as what this Aussie dollar is, and which is the worst of the three. Oil today continued to give up some gains. So oil selling off, broke this uptrend pretty convincingly today. So I'm going to pull that off the screen. We're now just going to watch some horizontal lines as we go through some things. As we break, we just remove stuff off of the table. And I think what we're looking at now is we came down, bumped off the 21 EMA, finished a little bit higher, but oil, beautiful pullback to the 21. Now, MACD showing a lot of weakness here and rolling over. RSI heading lower on the daily, and this breakout here just pulling back on the weekly. So it's all good. I would expect some pullback on it. Where we pull back to, I'm not so sure, but let's see if the 21 holds. That's number one. If it does not hold, then I think these upper 70s is where we got to take our look. In the next major, I think, in my opinion, major support levels here around 77-ish if this breaks, which is also where the 50 EMA happens to be. So that's about 4 points lower. So oil looking fairly weak, and then gold also continuing to sell off. Now, we've talked about gold being in this triangle. It came down yesterday to the edge of the triangle, finished above it. Today we went below, but finished right on it. But very weak MACD and RSI, heading towards oversold levels. But gold could have some more pain to go. We might be looking for something closer to this 21 EMA or the 3 ATR around 1910 or so. So that's our levels on gold. not yet ready. I want to see some firming up of something, and we can get some more strangles on that potentially. Nat gas sold off pretty good on the day. This thing continues to be kind of a schizophrenic looking chart. This thing's up, it's down. So all of these gains that we had up to the 3 mark, we've sold back down all the way to the 26.68 level, which is beautiful for our strangles. So we've got a strangle on nat gas, which has gotten really healthy in the last few sessions. Today we've also got a 112 on nat gas that we are fractionally above the top of the trap. We're up 178% on the nat gas trade. So fantastic for us on nat gas. Bonds, as we know, new lows, looking ugly, breaking through some previous supports. We are now heading towards this double bottom area here on these previous lows. We're going to see if bonds slow down the move, but right now bonds are looking ugly. However, we did try to get that PSAR bullish signal going, and it failed today. So we triggered bearish again as MACD worsens and RSI heads lower. Bonds still pretty weak. Corn heading lower to the bottom of this channel. Let's see if this channel provides any support for corn in here. It's looking pretty weak as well, but getting definitely oversold. Doesn't mean it can't stay there for a while. And then soybeans, same type of thing. We're right at this support level on soybeans, so we'll keep an eye on how things are going. These are starting to look like they're recovering a bit here on MACD with the momentum rolling out. Nothing to jump into yet, but might be an interesting trade coming up on soybeans. Taking a look at the sectors today, all of them were down. Now, tech was not down as much as many of the other sectors. In fact, tech was one of the least down sectors on the day. Still an inside day like we talked about on NASDAQ. RSI starting to reverse, so maybe this downside momentum might be running out of steam. We're in no man's land. We have no idea where this thing is going. It's on autopilot, and we have no clue where it's going to take us. Right now, we're just trying to hold on to this previous level. We've broken it. We tried to peek back above it. We closed right on it here today. Let's extend it one more day. And I think tomorrow's going to be a big day. Do we break below, or do we get any kind of a bounce tomorrow off of these levels? It's pretty hefty selling into the close, but a little bit of a bounce. XLY had a pretty terrible day today as we drove lower, came down to this support level as well, closed right about on it, but MACD worsening, RSI dropping. Not looking great on XLY, which is your Tesla and your Amazon, and Tesla did not have a good day today. A pretty bad day for Tesla. XLE also selling off pretty good. This is a beautiful move in here. Really like to see this come down to maybe the mid 80s on XLE before we make another run higher. So I want to see us drop back to this 21 EMA if we can get there. That would be a good spot for me. There is some support right here where we closed the day. So we'll see what happens on XLE. Financials down decently today. We had already broken below the 21 and then the 50. We took out 2 moving averages in one day today on the financials. So we'll see what happens. This line may become a bit of resistance in here. We'll be looking at a little bit lower on financials. This does not look like it's done selling right now. So financials looking pretty ugly, which is why that Russell is down the way it is. All right, so there's your sectors. Let's look at a few stocks in here today. Amazon sold off, but still well above the 21, still above this support level in here. I don't see anything yet on Amazon except the weakening internals, but the price action, just kind of keep an eye on it and see what happens. It's weakening this up move. It just has not had a good pullback until this point. Then it popped. It just needs to relax, pull back to the mid 130s, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Now, if the 21 breaks, then we'll be watching the 50. But Amazon still not in terrible position. Apple, not a big bad day today, down fractionally, down 1.12%. Not a big day, still just in this little range. MACD trying to reverse itself and move higher. We haven't seen the actual MACD lines start to turn yet, so I'm not getting too excited till I see that happening. But RSI is oversold. On Apple, Microsoft, inside day compared to yesterday, down just a bit. Meta, inside day. Google, inside day today. NVIDIA just keeps moving higher, has no business doing so. I really thought it would come down, try to fill this gap. Had a huge reversal yesterday. Continued a fraction of that today. Bullish PSAR signal triggered today. It's got earnings coming up in a couple of days. We'll see what happens on the 23rd. So we got another week to earnings on NVIDIA, but it's looking strong. And then Tesla, the worst of all of them today, down almost 3%. We did not like this triangle, we did like this triangle to break to the upside. If it breaks to the downside, fairly bearish. This triangle now, and we filled the gap. So we'll see what happens in Tesla. But right now, you're looking at a potential break of this really tightening range wedge. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Big day for Tesla tomorrow. Oversold, but not looking good on the weekly at all. PSAR bearish reversal today on the weekly. I think we're headed lower overall on Tesla. We could break out a bit, get a little pop, and then drop. I do not have a lot of confidence in Tesla here. So what did all of this have to do with our account? Let's take a look at that today. All right, 8:15 today. Delta's ended up about 645. So on this sell-off, Delta's moved back up higher. We've just been struggling with our Delta this entire week, trying to keep it below 0.2. We might have to get some more hedges back on. We thought we were out of the woods yesterday, reversed it again today, made it actually a little bit worse. So we got to get this Delta down a bit, in my opinion. I'm struggling with how to do that without really closing some losses out. But if we have to, we will. Theta bounced up a bit today. I don't know that I trust this whole number here, but Theta 0.27, according to Tasty Trade at the end of the day. It's actually got me at 916. I do not trust that number. I don't know where Tasty gets their numbers. It really doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling that they know what they're doing on this platform with these numbers all over the place. Netlick did drop today, 281. 660, so we dropped it back down. We were close to new all-time highs yesterday. Got that pulled away from us today. BP popped back up a bit to 165, which pushes us back to 58. So we're back above 50. However, another good day. So looks like some of these days where maybe we don't have such a great day in the market and we pull back a tad. Either way, we're closing trades for winners. I'll explain what we did today, but we made $810. So we added to our realized gains for the month of $45.15. How did that happen? Well, first thing we had on was a 0 DTE trade again today. Put on a call butterfly. This was a wide butterfly. Now, I made a large error on this one. I put this wide, 60 wide call butterfly on, bought it at 40.80. I put in an order to stop it at 45 because I had to go run some errands. Well, obviously, of course, while I'm gone, it closed because I didn't want to give up profit that I had while I was going to be gone, and I really couldn't watch it on my phone. So we made $420 on the trade. It's a nice 10% winner. Perfect. Okay. But had we hung in there on the day on this particular trade, this would have been a pretty good winning trade. I think SPX closed at 44.37, and this was a 44.50, so would not have been a terrible trade. we would have gotten just a little bit more than the 45, but at one point we were up a lot better. So, you know, we'll take the win, 10% winner on margin, $420 to the good, being in this thing for not a lot of time today. And then we also had a hedge trade that we put on in SPX back on the 9th of August. That thing, it was going to expire tomorrow. We bought it for $2. It was sitting at $6 today. We're 12 points above this center strike. And right now, it's a nicely profitable trade. However, if we bounce 12 points higher tomorrow, we're out of the tent and we make nothing. So instead of risking that overnight on SPX, I just closed it out today. 185% winner on the margin, $390 win. So together today, nice little day, pocketed $810 while we waited for some of our other stuff to watch that theta decay. So there's where we are on the day. Overall, a decent day. Small account had a nice strangle winner today. So again, winning on the small account, strangles paying off. We're in good shape on the main portfolio here. We've got some CL strangles and 112s doing exceptionally well. We've got that nat gas 112 up 178%. We've got Oxy up 14% on a leap. So we're looking at some good looking trades overall in the portfolio. We'll see where we go tomorrow. Will we start to get some traps on 112s coming up if this market sells off? I don't know, maybe, but that's the excitement of the 112. And that's really what propelled us to like an 80% up year last year. Was we would have been on track for our normal 30-40% year, but we hit so many of the traps last year on that market moving down that we got extra gains in on many of those trades. So really give us a fantastic year. If we see a pullback coming here, we'll probably have to get some negative delta back in, but the slow grind down, if that's what happens, as long as we don't go there tomorrow, but a nice slow grind down the rest of the year would be beautiful for us and it'll really jack up our trades for the year. All right, that's the end of our session today. If you like this, again, please hit that like button. Help me out on the channel here. Go ahead and subscribe if you are not a subscriber. Let people know if they have some questions too. You can drop them in comments. I will try to answer as many as I can. A lot of comments on a lot of videos. I do the best I can to get to them. All right, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you trading tomorrow. Bye-bye.